Miss M Rose in the board, the young fellow. Chase the young fellow. Add in an insane sound of BD, which means it's all mental. Yes, I am mental, chemically imbalanced. So which means my nerves are unsettled. So artistic. Better get the picture now, we futuristic. Better get the picture now. I'ma walk on the wild side, riding shotgun. Watch you take us all on a wild ride.
Everything is running through my mind. I can't seem to figure it out this time. Always tossing, always turning, burning to the touch. My body's yearning, I can't get enough. Run faster, catch me falling, tripping, falling, grab my hand. If you find me, we will play this game every day. Run faster, catch me falling, tripping, falling, grab my hand. And on my wild ride, stand by me, don't be shy. It will be a wild ride. It will be a wild ride.
My mind's racing and my heart pacing. Got a funny feeling, but it's hard to embrace it. Stomach on E and the shoe that I'm craving. Nickname of Miss Hardy from the fashion chest she lacing. Nothing ordinary or basic. More like extraordinary, not facing. Never complacent. She always keep me up with the wild buzz. The mine is a safari, never knew what the wild was. The mine is on the journey. I'm feeling like Pookie from New Jack City, cause I feel cold turd. Get it? I can't kick the habit. No body's yearning, even though the outcome can be tragic. But there's something about you, how you work your magic. So let's get together, let's get it established. It's something different, don't know where your style's from. From what I can see, this wanna be a wild one.
On my wild ride, stand by me, don't be shy. It will be a wild ride. It will be a wild ride. Everything is running through my mind. I can't seem to figure it out this time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Keno Trice Show, interview edition. And in the studio with me today, I got Milyssa Rose. What's up, Milyssa?
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
She is off the chain. One of my favorites, actually. So, Milyssa, let's talk a little bit about where are you from originally?
I'm from hell.
From hell?
From the deep south. No, I was actually born in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, Detroit.
Yeah, and then I've lived here forever and a day. My dad got transferred down here. He wasn't in the military. No, I'm not a military baby. My parents didn't meet in a war.
Okay, so
We'll get that out of the way.
So, what side of Detroit? You know, I know a few people up in Detroit.
You know what? I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't think it was by the 8 Mile. But then I lived in Grand Rapids for a little bit.
Oh, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
So I kind of sounded hood for a second, but I'm not.
You don't have to be from the 8 Mile. I mean, you know.
Let's just say that.
Okay, Melyssa's from 8 Mile.
I'm from a trailer. My mom was a crack whore.
I hope not. Because you don't seem like a crack baby. Maybe a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, you know how to turn it on and off. That's good control for the crack that's in your system. I've seen a crack baby before. It doesn't last that long. I think they kind of grow out of it.
That's too bad.
How did you get into singing? When did you know you wanted to sing? Is it one of those things that started in childhood, or?
Yes. When I started going to school, I think it was around preschool, I did my first play. I was a cat, and I loved to entertain, and I liked the attention of it all. And I started singing and acting and modeling, and this is when MTV actually played videos.
Oh yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah, I remember that a long time ago when there wasn't pregnant teens. Madonna and Cyndi Lauper, and I was like, oh my god, when I grow up, I want to be just like them. And that's how it all started.
Okay, so how does that process work? So of course you were in the school play, you played a cat. When it was time to get serious, was it one of those things where you were underage, sneaking in shady bars and singing, or how did that process work?
When I first started, my mom got me into like vocal coaching and acting and modeling, and I started doing a lot of stuff in community theater. And I wanted to do musical theater originally. And then when I graduated high school, I was like, you know what? I really don't want to do musical theater. I want to take creative control of what I'm doing. I want to be able to express myself. So I started writing and meeting different producers, and that's kind of how that all came to fruition.
Yes, because you have a look that doesn't say community theater, by the way. Your inspirations were like Madonna, Cyndi Lauper. Who is in the industry most current that you're kind of watching their path and saying that, okay, I like the route they're going? Do you lean towards the ones that go against the grain, mainstream, or who are your influences now? I know there's some people that probably are taking a path that you would like to take.
Mm-hmm. I really like Christina Aguilera, but I've always have. I just think just vocally she's amazing. I think she has a lot of passion in what she does. And I know that a lot of people give her a bad rap for being a diva, but I feel like she's able to have creativity as an artist and still be this amazing artist and have just this awesome vocal range. And I also like Lady Gaga as well. Those would be like my newest influences. And then there's a band called The Neighborhood that I've actually fallen in love with, and they had a huge hit called Sweater Weather, and they've actually put on a mixtape, and I could kind of tell they had a lot of like hip hop influence, and I really like, how they're going. I just like people that are they're out of the box. Like everything they do is black and white. Everything's very themed, like kind of old timey, and I just like the direction that they're going in. They're like an alternative group with a hip hop influence, and I just kind of like the path that they travel. Like they went on a tour with Travis Scott, which is one of Kanye West's artists.
Okay.
And I do listen to a lot of rap and like hip hop, so I think that's why I've kind of fallen for them. But those would probably be my latest influences. I don't want to be put in a box. I like people that don't want to be put in a box. Like they can do a little bit of everything, and those are the kind of people that I'm drawn to. Because Christina Aguilera, Lady Gaga. I mean, Lady Gaga's now doing a jazz album with Tony Bennett. So I like people like that, people that are always ever changing and ever evolving.
Okay, yeah, I noticed that, when I met you, I was hosting sort of a talent show, kind of showcase type deal.
Let's talk about our first encounter.
Well, the first encounter was interesting because it was a showcase that had some very interesting artists, and when you have like a showcase type talent show thing, every artist isn't that great.
No, they're really not. And somebody needs to tell them. If they had a friend, someone would sit them down and say, "Girl, you need to stop."
And from what I understood, there was a screening process to get on the show, but
that was breathing.
Yeah,
it was like, "Hey, do you have a pulse?"
Right. Okay. Are you breathing? Do you have all your teeth? Well, come on.
Bring a friend.
I think actually a few people were missing teeth, but I don't want to bring that up. Then I did notice that you were cool with some of the rap artists that were there, and they were actually talented. There was one rapper, Del G. Shout out to Del G.
Yes, Del G.
I loved him because he has that organic, that pure hip hop, what I remember, fun type music. And so you've done collaborations with Del.
Yes,
right?
I've actually done a song with him called "Get in the Ring."
Get in the Ring. Okay, is that like?
And it's actually produced by a guy named Shazam X, which is a producer I guess most of his roots are in New York.
Okay.
So that's that whole gritty New
that
York vibe,
New York,
that Del G
that
brings
Del
to the
G
table.
flavor.
Yes.
Shout out to Del G. I'm gonna have to bring you on, Del G.
Yes, you need to. He's a trip.
Yeah, he's
And
awesome.
If you don't, he will be upset. He'll say, "Why didn't he ask me? Why doesn't he like me?" And then I'll have to counsel him for hours.
That's all right. We'll get Del in the studio to sit in with me on the live show or something. We'll get him here. So, explain the process. I know it's a process of writing and material. Where do your ideas come from when you write a song?
What I do is I send my producer a lot of different beats, and I say, "This is kind of what I'm feeling right now." And then we kind of go from there. And then he'll send me, a slew of beats. I'll go over them, pick and choose what I want to alter, and then I just start writing. And that's really how it goes. I practice it over and over and over again, at my house, until I'm like, it's just second nature. And then I go into the studio and just knock it out. Because I'm one of those people, like, when I go in the studio, I want to get it done. Like, some people go in the studio and they're like, I don't know if I want to do that. I know what I'm going to do when I get there. Because that costs money, and I'm not going to sit there, and time, and I'm not wasting people's money and time.
Of course. So is there any time because I do this when I write a joke. Like, as a comedian, I may write a joke, and to me, it is hilarious. But then when I take it to the stage to try it out for the first time, it's not as hilarious as I thought, and I'm pretty much the only one laughing. So Does that happen to you where you write a song like this is gonna be hot, then you get to the studio and the producer is like, it's not as hot as you thought it was?
Yes, I actually have had like a couple songs like that I went into the studio and I listened to. I was like, this is really shit. Like I can't. Yeah, I was like, I'm not doing this, and then we just stop.
Okay, so
it's happened. Yeah. I'm not perfect.
So has there ever been a song that you wrote and you had a certain vision for it, but when it came out in the end, it was something that you really didn't care for? Although other people may tell you like, oh, Milyssa, that was hot, that's banging, but then when you listen to it later, you're kind of like regretting it, or I could have did it this way. And does that happen a lot? That
happened with some of the songs that I actually just nixed out in the studio already. But I'll be honest with you, when I did Get in the Ring, I wrote that and I sent it to a couple rappers, and I guess they weren't feeling what I was saying, because I'm very abrasive, as you know, and I was kind of violent, and I don't think people could really take that. So I didn't know if it was maybe lyrically they didn't want to, be that straight from the hip, or what the deal was. So I had to rewrite that song a couple times.
Okay.
So that was a challenge for me, and that was probably one of the songs that I did that I was like, oh my God, I'm just gonna go ahead and shelf this beat and just give it to Del and make it his own. But I toughed it out and did it.
2 questions. Do you see your growth, and what is that measure? What would you say, like, I'm better than last year? How would you measure that?
I mean, I would say that last year was a lot of growth for me, because I put out my own album and I did my own CD release, and I just kind of which I have in my own label, but I did this amazing, I thought it was a great CD release, and I just saw my product, come to life. And I felt like within the last few years, I think I've found who I really am as an artist, where I'm not trying to do what's on the radio. I'm not trying to do what somebody else did. I'm just doing what I want to do. And if that means I'm going to perform and say whatever, that I feel, sing whatever I want, get on the floor and gyrate, then I'm going to do that, because that to me is who I am. I'm just, you don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just, who knows? I'm just off, off the cuff. Whatever comes to mind, whatever I want to do. And I feel like I've grown a lot in the last few years.
Okay, yeah, I know you're off the cuff. That's what I love about you. So, do you do things sometimes that you regret, like, I probably shouldn't have did that or said that? Like, I know anything can happen in a live show. I have some regrets sometimes. Sometimes I might have said something that crosses the line. Do you ever have anything that you do that you might regret later?
I regret dealing with certain people more than I do. Oh, yeah. That's what I regret more than anything else. That people that I've come into contact with, that I've worked with, that I've spent way too much time and energy with. That's what I regret more than anything else.
Okay, yeah. That was actually going to be my next question, the networking aspect. So when you meet different people to work with, I mean, what does that look like? Do you meet them in like open mics, jam sessions and stuff like that? And when you do meet them, what is your gauge to know that you want to work with them or not? You can talk about that a little bit.
I will kind of research them and see what their work ethic is like, and kind of see like what projects are they working on, what shows are they doing. I kind of just really kind of investigate them, and social media, kind of watch them and see what kind of person they are. And then I'll actually ask around to other people that I know that they're mutual friends. Because, now with social media, you can see who's connected to who. And I kind of get a feel of, what kind of person they are. And then I decide. Because I've had people that I've worked with who didn't show up to video shoots.
Oh, shit.
Like I did a song and they didn't show up.
Wow. Yeah, nothing pisses you off more than... Yeah, you have to. If I'm serious, I want who I work with to be serious.
Yeah.
Is that typically a problem with artists using drugs? Because hey, I'm a comedian. Like, there's a big part of the comedy scene that are drug addicts, and you don't have to put anybody.
No, I really don't even think it's drugs. I just think they're stupid, or they just have jealous girlfriends. Then that's it's like we're all adults here. I don't want to sleep with your man.
Right.
I just want to do a song. You know what I mean? And it's just like people, I say a lot of things, but I'm not the town whore.
Right.
And if you really get to know me, that's maybe that is the case, maybe it's not the case, but I'm about my business and what this is what I want to do. Like, I want to do music. I'm not here to, hook up and do drugs and have orgies. I mean, that's late for later.
Right.
When I make it.
Even my industry, I see that.
Yeah, exactly.
I see that someone's other half can hinder their success. And you have to be with somebody that's understanding too. So luckily for me, my wife kind of was in the industry. She kind of modeled and did commercial work and stuff. So she kind of understands what I do. And I have to be out late at night a lot. So
that's my story. No, but people don't take it seriously. They don't realize that it's work. Like, just because you put out a song or just because you do a show doesn't mean you've made it. I mean, people don't understand. It's like every day you have to do something for your dream.
Yes.
Every day. Whether it be making a connection with someone online or sending your song or whatever it is, every day you've got to work on, your craft and your journey. You can't just say, okay, I've done a CD.
Oh yeah.
Now I've made it.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't quit. You gotta kind of be a visionary with anything.
Yeah.
You may be working on something right now, but you already, while working on that one project, you already got to be looking forward and thinking about what the next project is going to be, or what your next situation, or where you want to envision yourself being even next month. I mean, it's January now. You already have to be thinking about February, March, while in January working on something. First 2 years, I think personally, is pivotal in anybody's dream following. The first 2 years kind of tell you if this is something you want to stick with or not. How was your first 2 years of singing, putting yourself out there?
I would say let's go back to when I just got out of high school, when I started. We'll just talk about that because that's when I think I really focused on that more. It was difficult. I mean, everyone I met was a freaking lunatic. I mean, honestly, like, their beats weren't that great. People were trying to give me songs that I didn't really want to sing, and they wanted me to be, what everyone's doing, that pop R&B thing, and that really wasn't me, because I'm not really a ballad queen, right. And I'm not really into selling sex, which is what they want you to do. You're a girl, you should be half naked, you should sing songs about love. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I actually had to cut some ties with people. And then I got signed to an indie label. And the guy just, I don't think, was able to handle the artists. Because artists are difficult to deal with. And I was always steadily working, but other people weren't. So I kind of got out of that, contract, because I just didn't feel like it was the right fit for me at the right time. I felt like he had a vision, what he wanted to do, but I don't think it was going to work out because it couldn't be a label with just one person on it. Right. So I felt like, it's probably best if I back away and, later on, if we can revisit this, we'll revisit this. But it was difficult. It's difficult to find people that believe in what you do and believe that what you have can actually be marketable. I think that was the biggest thing, is finding people that believed in what I was doing as much as I believed in it. And find people that believe and not try to change you. Yeah.
Now, walking away from your first situation, was that difficult for you? To say, you know what, I don't think this is going to work out? Because sometimes, you get in a situation like, oh, this is my one chance. What gave you the wherewithal to know that, okay, I'm still going to be successful. Let me walk away from this. Was that hard for you at the time? You were
because I was very young. I think I was only like 22. I was very young, and of course I was scared because I was like, oh shit, now what am I gonna do? But I felt like it was really a growth experience. It was a growing experience for me, and I grew a lot, and I learned a lot, and I matured a lot from it. I did learn a lot about the business, believe it or not, from the short time that I was signed. And I'm glad that I had that experience, because some people don't realize about copywriting and, publishing. They don't understand that, and I learned like hands-on with him about, aspects of the industry that I probably wouldn't learn. Because people in the industry really they don't really want to give you the knowledge.
Nope.
They don't want to help you out. I mean, you do research and you learn on your own, but a lot of it's really hands-on, and people aren't very helpful.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean, people always talk about team this and team that. There's no team. It's just you have to look out for yourself, really. Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's just you.
Yeah, that is great advice. I'm learning something right now with Milyssa. I'm going to have to cut a few ties myself. So, what are the good things that you like about the industry right now? What are the positive things aside from performing? We know you love performing because you're here. What are the good things you would say about people in the industry? I know that there's there's a little rainbow somewhere.
There are some good people that I've met, honestly. The people that are hardworking, talented individuals that are serious about, their craft. I've met some really great people. I really have. You just have to be careful, just in any business. I think in entertainment, especially, you just have to be really careful who's in your circle.
Mm-hmm. Are the great people the ones that are successful? Because, they say nice people finish last.
People say that a lot. It's true. I'm sure there are some people that have really, quote unquote, made it, like in the, that are on TV or, at the award shows. I'm sure some of those people are good to a point. I would imagine, right? You'd have to be.
Yeah. Even in my industry, I've met some good and I've met some bad. When you're performing, discuss the differences between being in the studio and being on the live stage.
When you're in the studio, you hear everything that's wrong. Everything. Everything that just you thought sounded good but really didn't. And I'm very, very, very hard on myself when it comes to the studio. I'll be like, oh my God, that's terrible. I need to come back and record it. And they're like, why? I'm like, don't you hear that? Do you hear that? I hear it. Can't you hear it? So it's honestly, because I'm so OCD, it's such a stressful experience for me.
Well, that's cool. Even with this interview, if there's something you don't like, I can cut it out. But the live stage, I've seen you perform live on numerous occasions now. Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem like you're as anal. You seem like you're having fun and having a good time, and usually the audience is too. So I guess
I'm right at home when it comes to stage. To the stage, I feel like I'm much more comfortable. It's more free.
Yeah. And Melyssa's off the chain. I think our first few meetings, I don't remember what you said to me, but I was like, this girl is crazy as hell. I love her. This is my little sister. I went to your album release party.
Yes, thank you for coming to my
off
CD.
the chain. It was off the chain. So
I got married that day.
You got married that day?
To my music.
Oh, I was going to say, he's here sitting with us now. He's looking like that day.
Ike Turner is here. Ike Turner's here.
Get in there and sing that song,
bitch.
But it was a great event. So
it was magical.
Yeah, it was
at the Chattahoochee River Nature Center with the animals. I'm pretty sure they were pissed. Like, what the hell is all this?
So I think your mother was there. I got to meet.
Yeah,
I got to see you. I think I went up and spoke to your mom.
She's a trip, that one.
Yeah,
she's the Filipino Joan Crawford. She is.
She was shaking her head like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with this girl. But
I think my dad was like, God, can we leave?
He didn't like all the rappers there. There was a lot of hip hop.
It's so hard to gauge. If my dad doesn't say anything, that's good. If he starts talking, then you know something's wrong. And he didn't say anything.
So how long did it take to put all that together? Because you had to put the album together, then you had to arrange that big event. That was a pretty big deal.
It took me a couple months to arrange my CD release, to do the CD itself. I had some old music that I actually got mixed and mastered again. The whole process probably took like a year and a half with the CD and then arranging the actual release. I had a lot of help from a lot of friends too. So
it was gonna take a lot of help. It was outstanding. I wish I could have stayed longer, but I think I had a show. And
I understand because we're both chasing after our dreams, so I don't. But I know that I support you and likewise. So
oh yeah,
you don't have to be up my hiney. I believe you.
I'm gonna be at everything you do that I can show up to. So
and then I'm gonna F you in the ass when you're not looking.
Hey.
You always gotta worry though about the people that are too eager.
Right.
Those are the people that are too eager and always want to be there. You're like, what do you want?
I want to steal all your music. That's what I want.
I want to have sex with you. I'm waiting. I've actually had somebody be that way. Honestly, would constantly be at a lot of my events, and I thought that he was, on the up and up, and he was crazy. And that's what he wanted. I think he was waiting in the wings for it not to work out between Tony and I.
Oh, wow. That's disgusting, actually.
It is.
Me personally, I like being around people who are, like you said, chasing their dream. Mm-hmm. They're serious, whatever. And, music and comedy cross worlds a lot. So that's why I try to keep up with you and what's going on. And you actually check on me from time to time.
I do.
And
I stalk you.
And comment on my stuff like, you're stupid. But
I didn't. Yeah. I never called you stupid.
Okay, you're an asshole. I think this would be a good time to take a break, and we're going to show video of my favorite song is Busted. Y'all take a look. You're going to enjoy the music. We'll be back. Keno Trice with Milyssa Rose.
It's just another Friday. I noticed that it's getting late. What? But you're not home. I'm wondering what is going on tonight. So I call your cell phone, and after 2 rings, I hear a voice, a female voice. She says, hello. That's all I needed to hear. So now there's broken glass all on the floor from all your ugly pictures I broke. I've thrown your things right out the door. I don't love you anymore 'cause you're busted, and I'm so over you. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da. I'm on the phone with your mistress. She said that y'all are serious, and that you have been her guy for 3 whole years. Oh, gee. I told her to put you on the phone. You sounded stupid as always, trying to make me believe that you feel bad, and I'm all you had. You're lame and sad. I have a gift waiting here for you. There's broken glass all on the floor from all your ugly pictures I broke. I've thrown your things right out the door. I don't love you anymore 'cause you're busted, and I'm so over you. La-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now won't you come home and grab your trash? You can save the sweet talk because you had your chance. You had a good woman, but you had your plan. So get out, get out, get out, get out. But before you go, clean up this glass that's on the floor from all your ugly pictures I broke. I've thrown your things right out the door. I don't love you anymore 'cause you're busted, and I'm so over you. Clean up this glass that's on the floor from all your ugly pictures I broke. You can leave my heart back at the door. I don't love you anymore 'cause you're busted, and I'm so over you busted, and I'm so over you busted, and I'm so over you. La-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da. You have a small penis.
I think your mistress was a man.
Everyone has seen it.
And we're back after the Busted video. Milyssa, let's talk about the Busted video. What was your inspiration there?
Actually, that song was written for me. That's the only song I didn't write, by a guy named Tone Jones. He produces and he does some songwriting, and he wrote the song and he said this would be perfect for you. So it kind of sounded like musical theater, which is my background, so I kind of embraced it, and I kind of made the song my own. Of course, I added some of the ad-libs, which I think he was horrified by.
Yeah, you have a small penis.
He was like, oh, okay. But it works, because people love it. They like it when I talk about small penises.
You talk about it on Facebook. You are kind of fascinated with genitalia on
I'm
Facebook.
fascinated with buttholes.
All right, this is a family show. Let's.
There's nothing wrong with buttholes. Everyone has one.
That is true. That is true. As far as the music, there's a term starving artist, and since I'm an artist, I know that term very well. How hard is it to market and sell and actually make money when you're starting off in the music industry? Is music something where if you don't have a deal, you're probably not gonna make a lot of money? How does that work?
Yeah, it is. It's hard. I have a job, thankfully, that I use to finance my music, And if I didn't have that, I'd probably be really screwed and have to do porn. It's difficult. It's hard to get people to buy now that you can get everything for free online with your YouTubes and your Spotifys. And I mean, people, you don't even have to buy music anymore.
No.
So it is difficult. You really have to put out music that people are drawn to and can relate to, and then you get those people that will buy your music. But I have music kind of placed in a couple different places. Like, that's what I'm really trying to focus on, is like getting my music placed for like on TV or commercials or movies. I've had my music placed on like a TV show and like some sports magazine in Europe. So that's what I'm kind of focused on, is getting my music placed places. So that way I can just, get my royalties that way.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask. I'm sure there's other avenues, like I said, writing jingles or something like that. So have you been approached with doing different stuff like that, like writing music specifically for something other than, for your own personal?
We have a business. I work at an electrical contracting business. I did the jingle for that, and then I was working on a jingle for another contracting group. So I've been approached a couple times to do things that weren't, pop music.
Conventional pop music. So is it hard to go outside? Perform outside the box from what you're used to?
I'm kind of a dork when it comes to jingles, so it's okay. I'm a nerd. Secretly. I can't tell. I'm fascinated by people's jingles. I am. I don't know what it is.
So if somebody asked you to write a jingle about genitalia, that'd be right up your alley, huh?
Right up my alley, yes. And other places.
I knew something was coming. That's why I paused. So away from the music, what is Milyssa passionate about?
I'm pretty boring, but I am really passionate about animals and animal rights. That's one of my big things. And I do have some sensitivity to people. I've done some things for battered women and sex trafficking and human trafficking. So I'm not all just about the four-legged and furry babies.
Yeah, because
I'm into humans sometimes.
You have one dog?
I have a dog, 2 cats, and a rabbit. And then whatever shows up at my door.
Oh, wow.
That I feed: possums, raccoons.
Wow.
I like raccoons. I think they're cute.
So regular little wild kingdom, critter refuge.
What's crazy is that at my house I see more wildlife than I do when I go out to like the mountain or like in the country.
Wow. What?
If you can believe that. It's that cat food. They like that cheap cat food. That's what I need to do when I go out to the mountain, is throw that outside.
Cheap cat food.
Cat food.
It attracts everything.
Everything. I haven't attracted any people yet.
That's when it's time to move. Like, you see some homeless guy out there eating the cat food, right? And you're in Northeast Georgia. Like, is there a lot of woods around?
I don't live too terribly far from the Kennesaw Mountain.
Oh, okay.
So, actually, a couple roads from me, I saw some deer, believe it or not. I want to get some deer corn. My neighbors really hate me.
Is there such a thing as deer corn?
Yeah. I mean, they use it, to attract them so they can hunt them, but I'm not obviously hunting them.
When I grew up in Ohio, one of the things, if I came home late at night, like there used to be skunks around where we lived, and I hated it. I used to have to go around the back of the house, climb the fence to get in, because skunks, they won't really do anything to you unless they feel like you cornering them, but they go on about their business. But they stink.
Yeah, they do.
Any skunks in Georgia? I haven't seen skunks since I've been to Georgia.
No, I saw a woman at a vet who had one as a pet. She got a de-stunk or whatever it's called, de-skunked.
Yeah, because it's like some kind of sack they have.
Yeah, they have a sack. Like ferrets. Ferrets stink too.
Oh, yeah, ferrets stink too. Yeah, I heard about that. So, do you volunteer your time to go to animal shelters, help out and stuff like that?
I do a lot. A lot of what I donate to was they're not even here. Like in Africa, there is a wildlife conservation that takes in elephants who've been displaced because someone in their herd got their tusk, their face hacked off. And they kind of rehabilitate the elephants to go back into the wild. And then I am a member of PETA, even though I don't agree with some of the things that they're a little, they're sometimes I'm a little.
You know, I got to bring up Mike Vick. PETA is still protesting out some of the games. Okay, he hasn't really killed any dogs that we know of in almost a decade now. Do you think that's like a waste of time? Because it's like, I look now like, okay.
I think they should focus on making people more aware of dog fighting instead of, leave him alone.
Yeah.
I mean, he, to me, is a piece of shit for what he did, but I would just, there's so many other people out there who do it on a daily basis that don't have money and fame that they could bother.
Right. That's what I think it is. He's just the famous one.
Because he's in the public eye.
Right.
And unfortunately, I think with the way that the media is too, they just focus so much and they just always beat the dead horse.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if he's not fighting dogs anymore,
I don't think
and he went to jail. I mean, what's the point now?
Yeah.
So.
I think they really should just leave. That's one thing about them. I just feel like they just leave that man alone.
And move on.
Move on. I'm sure there's somebody else out there fighting dogs.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think he's allowed to have dogs now. I think he has dogs for his children. I don't think he'll fight them again.
The children will fight them.
Right. Pass on the legacy. I said Mike Vick, number 7, is like the doggy boogeyman now. So if there's like Wayne Williams was to us as kids in Atlanta,
right.
Michael Vick is the doggy boogeyman. Forgot the other thing we talked about.
Oh, like sex trafficking. And battered women.
Now, I heard that Atlanta is like one of the
biggest hubs for it, yeah, because of Hartsfield.
Oh, in the United States. So they fly them in on planes. I thought it was something they bring across the border, maybe drive them up to Texas. So actually they're bringing the kids or the women in on planes?
I imagine.
Wow.
Well, also they, and truck stops too, runaways.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big thing, too.
Dang, how did this become the hub, though? That's kind of weird.
I think it's because it's an international airport, and it's so busy. So you never talk to anyone at the airport, ever?
No.
Never?
No, I don't. I don't talk to anybody at the airport.
TSA
TSA looks scary at Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. You seen TSA? Some of them chicks are rough. So animal rights, sex trafficking. What does Milyssa do in her spare time? So you're at home chilling.
I watch Lifetime.
Oh no.
And Ways to Kill My Husband.
I was going to say Snapped is probably your.
Snapped, ID channel.
And he's here too. He's looking scared right now. He's looking scared. He's trying to
figure out how to kill me. He's been watching those shows too. I like crime. I don't know what it is.
I do too.
Fascinated.
I like the first 48.
First 48 I'm fascinated with crime, serial killer, all of that. I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. Maybe I want to be with a serial killer. Maybe, Tony. Maybe you need to kill a few people. Maybe I should get one as a pen pal. Like I should write Richard Ramirez.
That'd be awesome. No, write the dude that played for the Patriots. I would like to know what the hell's on his mind. Like, he is a straight killer. Like, you got a $40 million contract and you're out killing people. He's like, no matter how big I get, there's nothing like seeing somebody take their last breath.
There's nothing, obviously.
Yeah. Forget catching a pass from Tom Brady or winning a Super Bowl championship. I just want to choke you out. That is my passion in life.
Some people have to die.
And they do. I do agree with
live.
that. I just don't want the innocent people to die. I want all good people to live. What about torture? Are you fascinated with torture?
No.
Just straight.
I just am interested to see what makes them tick. What went on with them to make them that way.
It's usually some kind of unfortunate upbringing, some kind of dysfunction, or some people just.
Some people are just crazy, and they like to hold on to heads in boxes in their closets. That's normal. Some people.
Oh man, imagine having a dead body in your closet. That would freak me out. Like the smell. How do you adjust to that smell? That's what I'm curious about. They say, Jeffrey Dahmer's chop people up.
Yeah, he and Ted Bundy, they would all have these bodies, and you're like, dude, really?
Is it one of those things if I get a new watch or something, I might just look at the watch for a while, oh, this is clean. So I wonder if they go in the freezer and man, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 heads. I need a 6th one in there to complete the set.
And then I can take a picture and put it on Facebook. Tag all my friends.
Hey, you see this little Latino I killed? No, okay, I'm getting
Look at this little Asian I killed.
Okay, so moving forward, What advice would you give anybody dream chasing? What have you learned along the way in pursuing dreams?
I would say educate yourself on what you're getting into.
Yes,
really,
that is very important.
Really know what you're getting into. Make sure that you copyright your material. Make sure that you are working with people that are about their business. That's the one thing. I mean, because it's a lot more business than it is music. What do they say? It's 90% business, 10% music, which is true. I mean, you always need to make sure your bases are covered. That's one of the biggest things that I would say, because I hear people all the time who write songs and they put them online and they like release them, and I'm like, did you copyright that? No.
Yes.
Like, you're dumb.
Yes, it's easily stolen, and you have no recourse. So
I just learned the business.
Right, and getting through the tough times, because we all have times like, I should quit, I'm tired, whatever. I mean, what gets you through those rough times where you do feel defeated?
Yeah, I mean, I had a string of not so great shows that were very discouraging, and I kind of taken a break during the holidays, and I've decided I'm going to be more picky and choosy about what I do. So that's kind of how I'm going to combat that. And then just focus. Like, I'm working on another project right now. It's secret. I can't tell you what it is yet.
No, and
it'll be a surprise.
It's a surprise.
It's different than I think that anyone that I know is doing. In my genre of music. So I'm excited about that. I thought about that at midnight last night.
And the good thing about it, once you've been grinding for a few years, you can pick and choose. As a comic, it's all about repetition and getting on as many stages. And I've been to some seedy places, I did not enjoy being at. And that's kind of behind me now, so I can pick and choose. And actually, if I need to work on new stuff, I can do it actually on a paid gig or a real show in front of a real audience. So I'm sure you're kind of at that point now. Okay, you've done all the open mics and stuff like. What typically, I'm curious, for the music open mics, do they hold them like in restaurants? And what are some of the worst places you've been to perform or try to network? Or
I've actually done a show at a place down on Cheshire Bridge, and what it's known for is that people just go there and hook up, and they have sex like on the couches and like different like dark like crevices of the bar.
Is that the Velvet Place or something? I forgot what it is.
It's called the Heretic.
Heretic?
It's a gay bar.
Oh.
And I brought Tony there, and literally he got proposed, can I give you a blowjob? Can I give you a blowjob? And Tony was like, no. And this guy like literally wanted to give someone a BJ that evening.
Congratulations, Tony. I mean, a blowjob from anywhere. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a BJ's a BJ. It's all the same in the dark.
And there's some of them just, was the glory hole? They just put it through a hole. And
I was looking for the glory hole. I couldn't find it. But you know what? I wouldn't sit on any of their couches. I mean, the show wasn't bad. It was just, that literally is like what that place is known for.
But you know what? The gay community embraces artistry.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, I've done a few gay prides over the summer, and and that's another thing I'm passionate about is, Georgia equality. I've done work with a woman named Ricky Simone, who's an openly lesbian rapper. She has a charity called Under the Rainbow Athens, and I work with her frequently as well. And they're awesome. Yeah. I've always had an affinity for the LGBT community anyway. So but they are extremely loyal and supportive.
Shout out to my LGBT community out here in Atlanta. Where can we find you on social media if people want to get in contact with you?
The best way to get in touch with me is mrosemusic.com, and then all my social media links are on there. My Twitter, my Reverb, the CD Baby's on there, iTunes. I'm on Instagram. I hate Instagram. I'm sorry. I can't stand it. I'm not even gonna lie to you. No shout out to Instagram, because it's like, I don't want to see ugly people take more pictures of themselves. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that.
Instagram is rough for me too. I
don't like it. Do you like it? It's like I see all that on Facebook already.
But it's part of the process, though. As an artist, you have to be on the social media to some degree.
I just can't get into Instagram.
I have to make myself get on. put stuff on Instagram, it's rough, and it's not really as interactive as Facebook.
No, it's not.
Other things are, so.
It's like, how many pictures of your ugly kids are you going to take? I can't like those.
Yeah, people love pictures, though.
Or the best is the people that post scripture, and then, literally, 2 hours later, they're talking about getting drunk in the club and getting pounded in the rear.
I was going to say, the scripture people are the worst. They are the worst.
Awful.
Yeah, if you're reposting scripture and quotes of the day and motivational stuff, you're probably usually the worst human being. That's been my
if you need that much self-help, you should just go ahead and kill yourself. Seriously, I'm sorry. I don't like all that. Motivate my balls. I'm not interested.
And it's usually, it surprises me that people need to be told what they already know over and over again. You know what right and wrong is. You know your ratchet way of living is not a productive way to live. Why do you need me to post something to say, you know what? Okay, maybe having 8 baby daddies isn't a great choice. I'm glad that this Instagram post kind of set me straight. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like social media is an unnecessary evil, unfortunately. But I hate that everybody thinks that they know what they're talking about on social media.
Oh yeah, everybody's
a lawyer.
Yeah, everybody's
a doctor. Everybody's a preacher. Everybody knows everything.
You can be who you want to be.
Yeah, exactly. And then when you meet them, you're like, gosh, I liked you better online.
They be like, hey, you think I can hold $2 real quick? But on Facebook, you balling.
Balling. Balling out of control.
You're a boss bitch.
Oh my God. It's like, get a job. And it's crazy because there are people who get really upset that people unfollow them on Twitter or unfollow them. Oh my God, yes. You know what? Who cares?
Yes.
Half the people on, Twitter are fake anyway.
Right.
They're not real. They're like bots. Half of them are bots.
True. Because they just cleared all the bots from Twitter, right?
Instagram, I heard, and that Mace supposedly got really upset because he lost 1 million followers or something like that, so he took off his Instagram. But there are a lot of bots on there. On my Twitter, I have people that literally have the carbon copy, same exact profile, and they're favoriting my posts.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, and I look and I'm like, you're not even real. Why are you even talking to me? I have no real fans.
Part of the master plan. Well, I enjoyed it, Milyssa.
Thank you for having me.
You are always welcome at the Keno Trice show. I'm gonna have to get you to come sit in on one of my live shows.
Yeah, I would like that. Can I talk about my vagina?
You could talk about whatever you want.
You might not want to say that to me.
Hey, it's a live show, and it's usually late. I make it late, so if your kids are listening, that's a you problem. It's not a me problem. So that wraps up this episode of the Keno Trice Show. Thanks for listening. Thanks for coming out, Milyssa.
Thank you for having me. I had a gay old time.
Yes, a gay old time. And until next time, everybody out there, be cool. I'll holla.
Bye.